Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Jayo Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhavo Kunja Bihari. Yashodanandana Brajajanranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajanranjana. Yamunatira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajanranjana. यामुनतीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्रील प्रभुपाद की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। Very happy to be here. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Mandir at Hyderabad. Hare Krishna. Last time I came during this period. I had a nice meeting with His Grace Anandamai Prabhu in his office. Actually, every time we came, we met Prabhu. He offered prasadam, such a nice gesture. Also, met him quite few times in Jagannath Puri, in Ujjain, once in Delhi also. Got opportunity to serve him quite a few times. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 11th chapter. Jadabharat instructs King Raghugan. Text 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nashtoprayasya bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. तथा एव राजन् उरु गार्हमेधा वितान विद्या उरु बिजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धः नु चकास्ति साधुः। तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेधा तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेधा बीतान बीदोरुविजृम्भितेषु बीतान विद्दोरुविजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धो नु चकास्ति साधु। प्रायेण शुद्धो नु चकास्ति साधु। तथैव राजन् उरुगार्हमेधा बितान विद्योर्विजृम्भितेषु न वेदवादेषु हि तत्त्ववादः प्रायेण शुद्धो नु चकास्ति साधु. Mataji's. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Tatha, therefore, eva, indeed, Rajan, O king, Uru Garhamedha, rituals related to material household life. Bitana Vidya, in knowledge that expands. Uru, very greatly. Visrimbhiteshu, among those interested. Na, not. Vedabadeshu, who speak the version of the Vedas. He, indeed, Tat Vadaha, the spiritual science. Prayena, almost always. Shuddha, free from all contaminated activities. No, indeed, Chakasti, appear. Sadhu, a person who is advanced in his devotional service. Translation. My dear king talks of the relationship between the master and the servant, the king and the subject, and so forth are simply talks about material activities. People interested in material activities, which are expounded in the Vedas, are intent on performing material sacrifices and placing faith in their material activities. For such people, spiritual advancement is definitely not manifest. Please repeat. My dear king, talks of the relationship between the master and the servant, the king and the subject, and so forth, are simply talks about material activities. People interested in material activities, which are expounded in the Vedas, are intent on performing material sacrifices and placing faith in their material activities. For such people, spiritual advancement is definitely not manifest. In this purport, in this verse, two words are significant: Vedavada and Tattvavada. According to Bhagavad Gita, those who are simply attached to the Vedas and who do not understand the purpose of the Vedas or the Vedanta Sutra are called Vedavadarataha. Yamimam pushpitam vacha pravadanti avipashita Vedavadarataha partha nanyad asiti vadinaha. कामत मानस सर्व स्वर्ग परा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदाम क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम भगैश्वर्य गतिम प्रति. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say there is nothing more than this. The Vedavada followers of the Vedas are generally inclined to Karmakanda, the performance of sacrifice according to the Vedic injunctions. They are thereby promoted to higher planetary systems. They generally practice the Chaturmasya system. Aksham ha vai Chaturmasya yajinaha sukritam bhavati. One who performs the Chaturmasya Yagga becomes pious. By becoming pious, one may be promoted to the higher planetary systems. Urdham gachanti sattvastha. Some of the followers of the Vedas are attached to Karmakanda, the fruitive activities of the Vedas, in order to be promoted to a higher standard of life. Others argue that this is not the purpose of the Vedas. Tad यथैवेह कर्म जीतः लोकश्यते एवं उत्र पुण्य जीत लोकश्यते. In this world, someone may become very highly elevated by taking birth in an aristocratic family, by being well educated, beautiful, or very rich. These are the gifts for pious activities enacted in the past life. However, these will be finished when the stock of pious activity is finished. If we become attached to pious activities, we may get these various worldly facilities in the next life and may take birth in the heavenly planets. But all these will eventually be finished. Shine punne martalokam vishanti. When the stock of pious activity is finished, one again has to come to this Martya Loka. According to the Vedic injunctions, the performance of pious activity is not really the objective of the Vedas. The objective of the Vedas is explained in Bhagavad Gita, Vedasya Sarvar Aham Eva Vidya. The objective of the Vedas is to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are Vedavadis are not actually advanced in knowledge, and those who are followers of Jnana Kanda, Brahman understanding, are also not perfect. However, when one comes to the platform of Upasana and accepts the worship of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes perfect. Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. In the Vedas, the worship of different demigods and the performance of sacrifice are certainly mentioned. But such worship is inferior because the worshippers do not know that the ultimate goal is Vishnu. Nate vidhu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. When one comes to the platform of Vishnu Aradhanam or Bhakti Yoga, one has attained the perfection of life. Otherwise, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita, one is not a Tattvavadi but a Vedavadi, a blind follower of the Vedic injunctions. A Vedavadi cannot be purified from material contamination unless he becomes a Tattvavadi. That is one who knows Tattva, the absolute truth. Tattva is also experienced in three features: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdati. Even after coming to the platform of understanding Tattva, one must worship Bhagavan, Vishnu, and his expansions. Or one is not yet perfect. Bahunam Janma Namante Jnana Vanamam Prapadyate. After many births, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto Krishna. The conclusion is that unintelligent men with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand Bhagavan, Brahman, or Paramatma. But after studying the Vedas and attaining the understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is supposed to be on the platform of perfect knowledge. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarvinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So this chapter is describing the instructions of Jadabharat to King Rahugana. So in previous chapter, Rahugana met Jadabharat, and in this verse, Prabhupada actually explained in details Vedavadi, Tattvadi, demigod worshippers. From today, Ganesh Puja is starting, huh? Prabhupada was in Mumbai, and because Maharashtrian people are extremely attached to Ganesh, Ganapati. So in one lecture, Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada was speaking that I will not allow. Someone actually asked Prabhupada, "Can we worship Ganesh ji in our temple?" Prabhupada said, "No, I will not allow." In Prabhupada lecture, I think it's Hindi lecture, and then when Prabhupada saw many people on the class audience, they were very upset because they're too much attached to Ganesh worship. So finally, Prabhupada says, I can allow in one condition, you can worship Ganesh if you give $1,000 per month in my temple. Prabhupada jokingly said. So, Jadabharat is very wonderful character in Srimad Bhagavatam. That first time Jadabharat started to speak to King Rohogan in this chapter. It's the second verse actually. So previous verse, yesterday's verse, he says that you are talking like experienced person, although you are not experienced. You are showing yourself like a learned person. Same thing Krishna told Arjun in Bhagavad Gita. Ashwasyananna shosastang pragga badangsha vasasya. Arjuna, you are speaking like an experienced person, learned person, but you are not learned because you are lamenting for what one should not lament. Exactly the same thing, Jadavara told. See, this Jadabharat, when he was born as Jadabharat in next life, he was not at all concerned about what outside people are speaking about him. Even in the beginning, in previous chapter, when King Rohugana, he was speaking harshly. He was kind of abusing Jadabharat because he was not walking in rhythm with other carriers. Yet Jadabharat, he didn't say anything. So Prabhupada said, that is the quality of a devotee. He is not disturbed by what people say, outside people say. And Prabhupada says in one of his lectures that, the externally, sometimes a madman and a self-realized man both look same, but inwardly they are different. We can't say saintly person, they are like madmen, like Rishabh Dev, Nityananda Prabhu. They are Avadhut. Avadhut sometimes consider they are like madman. Like here, Jadabharat is actually everyone address him as madman, dull-minded. Even his family members, his parents also found him, madman, like madman. But inwardly he was practicing, serious Krishna consciousness. So then Prabhupada says that, unless one speaks, and you will not understand how advanced he is. So Jadavarat, everyone thought Jadavarat is dull-minded, like mad person. But once he started speaking, then everyone understood how exalted Jadavarat is. So similarly, Prabhupada in another lecture, Prabhupada says, that those who are so-called, intellectual people in this world, philosophers and others, they themselves, they may claim themselves so brilliant, extraordinary. But once they speak, you will understand their number on full. So when devotee speaks, and after listening, you will understand how exalted they are. Similarly, outside people, so-called scholars, when they speak, they actually expose themselves. Like when Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the first time in Ramkali. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are such an exalted personality. You came to me. I am ordinary sannyasi. Why did you come to me? Because you are very famous, and everyone knows you are prime minister and one of your finance minister of king." Then what is the first reply of Sanatan Rupa Goswami? They says, that ग्राम्य व्यवहारे पंडित ए सत्यमानी अपनार हिता हित किछु ही न जानी. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying that we are scholars, but we don't know what is good, what is bad for us. But Grama Vyavahare Pandit A Satyamani, because some people in our village they call us Pandit, that's why we also accept ourselves as Pandit. And then they further says the three things we don't know. Ke ami kene amai jare tapatrai. Iha nahi jani ami kyaman hit hai. So if we don't know the answer of these three questions, Ke ami, who am I? Kene amai jare tapatrai. Why I am getting these three folds sufferings in this material world. And third is, Iha nahi jani ami kyaman hit hai. And I don't know what is good for, auspicious for me. So if I don't know the answer of these three questions, that means I am not Pandit. So actual Pandit is one who knows the answer of these three questions, And that's why in Iskcon, from the beginning, first day, we know who am I, Discover yourself, this course. So in Iskcon, whoever joins, from the first day, he is Pandit. Is that it? And actually, even three types of devotees, first class, second class, and third class devotees, Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta. And Mahaprabhu says, who is Uttam Bhakta? Uttam Bhakta is, Jare Dekhe Mukhe Aishi Krishnam. By seeing someone, if you utter the name of Krishna, he is first class devotee. And then second class is, bar, one who takes Krishna's name again and again. And the third class devotee is one who takes Krishna's name only once. So sometimes our devotee says, by seeing Iskcon devotees, even auto say, Hare Krishna, kahan jana hai? Even sometimes in phone also, even you are calling customer care services, unknowingly you say Hare Krishna. And they are unaware of what is Hare Krishna. Isn't it? Sometimes. So by seeing devotees, people are, uttering Krishna's name. So all the devotees are pure devotees, first class devotee. So Jadavarat, he didn't give any reaction. Although this previous chapter, this king was abusing him, chastising him, using bad, harsh words. So Prabhupada says that is quality of a devotee. A devotee is always grave. He is not affected by what people thinks about, and outside people what they speak about him. There is a beautiful bhajan. It says, "के तुम्हाके कबे की कथा कहिबे से कथा भाविले आर की चलिबे परेरो कथाय किबा आसे जाए मिछे दागा तुम्हें पेओ ना." Beautiful bhajan. It says, "के तुम्हाके कबे की कथा कहिबे," the people, outside people, whoever is speaking, what they are speaking about you, don't bother about that. Porero kathai kiva ashjai. Whatever outside people is speaking, just ignore that. Just focus on the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Especially, like this Jadavaratana, he didn't react. But the problem with us is whenever if someone chastises, abuses, we immediately react. I remember one Prabhupada disciple, Iskcon Guru also, His Grace Kalakanta Prabhu in USA, Gainesville. A very beautiful temple. You there. I used to live sometime for that place. So he actually, he told once, he says, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, for the first time, he came to India with Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada took him around everywhere. And when he came back to New Year, because all the Prabhupada disciples, they were asking Tamal Krishna Maharaj, how did he find in India the mood of devotees in general, So then Tamal Krishna Maharaj told, the problem with the American is, they react immediately for everything. They will not wait for anything. Anything happens, immediately they have to react. And then I found in India, they will not react no matter whatever happens. So then Kalakanta Prabhu, he says, then I asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, what is right? Which mode is right? Tamal Krishna Maharaj, nothing is right. So we have to balance between both. So he says, then this sometimes devotees, not devotees, I mean in generally Western people, they vomit everything immediately. They have to react. Anything happens, and then in India many things happens. They keep the secret hide in their heart. That is also not good. Sometimes it's better to express devotees. But here, see, Jada Bharat, we see he was not reacting in the beginning, but now he started to speak. This is perfect example, balancing Western and Indian culture. So he now started, speaking to King Rohogan. So, but in generally, a devotee, when he was being chastised, abused, or spoken harshly by Rohogan, he wasn't reacted, But it's very difficult, and especially when in front of, few other people, if someone chastises us, it's very difficult to tolerate, Even after practicing Krishna consciousness, so we can't tolerate. For example, Shiva and Daksha. Daksha insulted Shiva in big assembly, and all the great saintly personalities were there, and Shiva didn't react, and, and Bhagavatam description comes in Puranas also. Lord Shiva immediately left that place, and because Lord Shiva found, if I stay here, I may react. So he left that place immediately, and the Puranas description. After that incident, Lord Shiva went. He sat under a huge banyan tree. He called four Kumaras. He started, listening Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's beautiful first times. Otherwise, he thought, no, I may get angry, I may react because he insulted me. So from that, we can understand how advanced Jadavarat was, his consciousness was. So Prabhupada says, that's why when someone insulted us, abused us, we should immediately take shelter of holy name or the devotees, or read some Krishna's first times. Otherwise, reaction will come immediately. It's very difficult. Like Prabhupada, this famous first time of Prabhupada was giving lecture, and Prabhupada says, whenever we get angry, uh, to someone, we should immediately put our hand inside chanting bead. And Prabhupada said, chanting bead bag, So, and all the devotees, they learned something new. If we get angry, and then if we get anger, we should put our hand inside chanting bead. So after some time, there was a Pandal program, and Prabhupada about to give a speech, and Prabhupada went to the stage. Nothing was ready. All the media reporter, cameraman, everything was ready. Everyone came, and Prabhupada was so upset. Prabhupada was chastising in a public place. He was so angry. Why the temple president, commander, everyone, blah, blah. Prabhupada was so angry. And then one devotee was there. He says, Prabhupada, last week you told, whenever we get angry, we should put our hand inside chanting bead. Prabhupada says, yes, you are right. So Prabhupada put his hand in the chanting bead. So Jadavarat, he was contemplating Krishna's first time. That's why Jadavarat could control. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And nowadays, you see, earlier, in the social media, modern technologies were not there. that you would react maybe for little moment, but now there's so many reactions that reactions in WhatsApp, what they call emojis, these reactions is very dangerous actually. It's very dangerous. I was talking in this topic in Rajasthan last week, and it's very dangerous because these reactions or reply, it is recorded, so you can revisit all those things. Someone said something against you and it's recorded, it's in voice message, and till midnight you will repeat it, replay it, what this devotee says about me. It's very difficult, you know so because social media now is even destroying, that's why better not to record anything, you know so I remember we had this Vaishnavi forum group, the two group once, they had some conflict. So one group came to my office. They said, Prabhu, this group, this Mataji's, during this festival, they did something. So I said, that was not right what they did. I didn't know, they recorded my, my reply, mobile phone, and they were showing to other groups. And it's so dangerous nowadays. It's very careful, Even in phone also, when you talk, we don't know who is recording what, So that's why before giving reaction, we should be very, very careful, actually. Because earlier, nothing was recorded, So this, then Jadavarat, he started to speak. He didn't react in the beginning, and then he started to speak. Because that was also important, needed, as a devotee, is our duty to address the you know the ignorant person, just like similar incident happened Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he went to Udupi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Udupi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, generally his dealing was very humble. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Udupi, is Madhavacharya, we are also same parampara, but they indirectly ignored Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such a great sannyasi. They didn't welcome Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and their expression was, they don't recognize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an exalted sannyasi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went inside, he took darshan, and while coming out, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called the leader of the sannyasi, Udupi Mat. Then he addressed, you are considering yourself topmost sannyasi, and therefore you are proud about your positions. So here both aspects are important, and one chastises, us, you should not react, but if you are in the position of guru, sometimes we have to teach them, so then Jadavarat, he started to speak to the king. So first one, he says, you are speaking like a learned person, but you are not actually a learned person. And then this verse, he says, my dear king, mm, my dear king, uru garha medha, rituals related to material household life, medha, medha we say griha medha, griha medha. So medha means, material household life, and grihastha, he is saying griha medha. The two terms, grihastha, griha sthita. Sthita means situated. So someone, when he is situated in one specific particular place and practicing Krishna consciousness, that is grihastha. The grihastha, they has, particular place. The brahmachari, sannyasi, vanprastha, other three ashrams, they don't have particular place. They should not have, otherwise, it will become the cause of attachment. So brahmachari, sannyasi, and vanprastha, they should keep on traveling. They shouldn't stay in one place for a long time. Within the city, out of the country, wherever, they should travel. So, but grihastha, what grihasthita, they are situated in one particular home. And griha medha, and this is griha medha means, is when the members of family, they are envious to each other. That is called griha medha. Actually, medha word or medhi word also, meaning is, one of the meaning of medha is envious. So those who are grihastha, they are not envious to each other. They try to uplift each other into Krishna consciousness spiritually. But griha medha means, they are busy with material activities, and the family members, they themselves are envious to each other. So envious means, for example, the father, you know, father, I know one, father, his son, became, brahmachari. So then he came to me and he says, I want my son should, become a grihastha. I said, why? Because you have another son. He has two more sons actually. And then you have everything. Your son is, leading a very blissful life. He says, because, I went through a lot of sufferings in my family life. I want my son should also experience the same. It's called Griham Medhi. Every parent, they have these things. So Griham Medhi, you know. Then I told him, see, after getting married, he may go abroad also. You may not see him maybe once in 2 years, you may meet him. But then if you stay here in this temple, you can see him every day. He said, no, even if he don't meet me, I want he should, untangle. Isn't it the concept? So it's Griham Medhi. Griham Medhi means, they are envious to each other. This story, funny story, 50 paisa circus. And 50 paisa circus, three friends, they went to see a circus. 50 paisa is very cheap, cheap ticket, very, you know. So, but the condition of circus, they bought ticket, and the condition is one by one have to enter into the circus room. So first friend went, and he saw nothing is there, because circus you can see so many musicians, many things, magicians, but he saw nothing is there. Only two wrestlers, they are standing on the stage, and that is a circus. So they called, give you ticket. So two wrestlers, they told you come here on the stage, and they started to slap him like anything. His face became, totally red, and they said, this is 50 paisa circus, is finished. So now he got this bitter experience. He is coming out from the circus room, and his another two friends, they are waiting. And the second friend asks, my dear friend, how was the circus? And he says, why shall I only suffer? He says, such a wonderful circus. You will never find such a wonderful circus in this lifetime. You go, you will experience. The second friend went, he also got slapped, tight slapped. And then when he was coming out, third friend asked same thing. He says, beautiful, most beautiful circus. So this is happening, Griha Medha. So therefore, here Jadabharat says, Tatheva Rajan Uru Griha Medha. Those who are Griha Medhi. Here, of course, he is saying talks about related to material household life. Talks about material household life, or the talks between the master and the servant. Because previous chapter, the King Rahugan, he was telling, what should be the behavior of a servant and master. So he says talks related to material household life or master and servant is simply talks about material activities. And therefore, people interested in such material activities, and also sometimes recommended in Karma Kanda of, Vedas, the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, they actually, their spiritual advancement is definitely not manifest, for this type of people. Prahlad Maharaj says, Matir na Krishne, Parato Satoba Mitho Abhipadyat Griha Vratanam. So when Hiranyakashipu chastised him, if not Shanda Amar, if not your friend circle, if not any of our family member, who taught you about Vishnu? And then he says, my dear brother, it's not easy to incline our mind to the lotus feet of Krishna. And because people in this material world, they are Griha Vratanam, extremely attached to their family affairs. For them, it's not easy to incline their mind to Krishna. And Prabhupada was giving lecture on this verse, and Prabhupada says, you heard about Janmashtami Brat, you heard about Ekadashi Brat, but Prahlad Maharaj says Griha Brat. So Prabhupada says, what is Griha Bratanam? So like Ekadashi Brat, we take vow, no matter whatever happens, I will not eat grains. And Griha Brat means no matter whatever happens, I will maintain attachment to my Griha. That is Griha Brat. So here also the Griha Medha, Griha Brat. No matter whatever happens, I will maintain attachment to Griha. So that talks related to material household life is nonsense, and their mind never manifest in spiritual activities, and that's what it says. So it's called Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, it says Prajalpa. Prajalpa. But of course, Jadabharat, he then later on he started to address so many things, other aspects of his spiritual life to Rahugan. So in generally, devotee, they are recommended to avoid prajalpa, which is related to material household life. Like Prabhupada was in Mumbai, I think, and Prabhupada visited one of the rich people's house with his Western disciples. So that I think he was life member also. So he was very rich man. He invited Prabhupada. So Prabhupada went to his home, there dining room. That rich man, he was introducing his family members to Prabhupada. So he called his son, Prabhupada, this is my elder son. Then he left, then he called younger son, Prabhupada, this is my younger son. Then Prabhupada, this is my daughter, this is my son-in-law, daughter-in-law, everything. Prabhupada was so bored. He was so boring, this guy, he called me, he should listen to me. But he is introducing his family members, and all the Western devotees, they didn't understand what is happening. So then one by one, after introducing, when all his family members left, Prabhupada was alone with his Western disciple. Prabhupada was so angry, so upset. Prabhupada was shouting almost. He said, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my son-in-law, this is my sex life. These people are nonsense. They call sadhu. They should listen to sadhu. So here exactly same thing, Jadavara says, Garha Medha, the topic related to material household life is all a nonsense, But of course, for devotees, uh, even their family related matters also connected to spiritual life, That's why sometimes, inquiry about their family member, children, everything is important also. And Prabhupada used to inquire. And we have Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami, famous Babaji in Vrindavan, and he used to go for Madhukari, door to door. And everyone knew Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami also personally knew all the family members, their lands, their agricultural aspects, their family members, children, daughters, everything. And Sanatan Goswami, he would inquire about their family members, children, their study, whatever, everything. So that was not considered to be prajalpa, although that was material, because that was connected to devotees' spiritual life. That's why. So even this Raghunath Das Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, when Raghunath Das Goswami left in between family affairs, he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath, you should go back. You should take care of your family business, fathers and uncles' business, Govardhan Majumdar. But of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told one thing to Raghunath Goswami. He said, Antare nishtha karo baihe loka vyavahar. This loka vyavahar, externally you do loka vyavahar. You're maintaining your family members and business, everything. But antar nishtha kara. Internally you practice sincere Krishna consciousness. Achirat Krishna tumai kariven uddhar. And if you maintain these, especially for householders, it's important. Mahaprabhu's instruction: Antara nishtha karo baihya loka vyavahar. So antara nishtha and baihya loka vyavahar. So externally loka vyavahar, dealing with materialistic mundane people, but antara nishtha, and by doing this under the instructions of a spiritual master, that is also important. This antara nishtha and baihya loka vyavahar is only possible if someone is constant under the guidance of spiritual master devotees. Otherwise, no one can maintain antaranishta bahya loka vyavahar. It will be antaryo loka vyavahar. It will come automatically, So constant touch with devotees, association, and spiritual master mercy is required. Because this Raghunath Das Goswami he was constantly touch with, few like Haridas Thakur. This 1.5 years or almost more than 1 year, he became like Vishayi Prai. The description came, he became almost Vishayi, not but fully Vishayi, because that was Mahaprabhu's instruction. So on that period, he was regularly taking guidance from Haridas Thakur. Because Haridas Thakur used to visit their village for program. So he would attend Haridas Thakur's lecture, and time to time these attend festivals and other thing, Nityananda Prabhu's associates. So this Antara Nishthakara Vaih Loka Vyavahar is for especially for Grihasthas, for the those who are in renounced order of life. For them, it should be internally also, externally also, Nishtha. No Loka Vyavahar. There cannot be Loka Vyavahar. It's not recommended for the sannyasis. For Grihasthas, Loka Vyavahar. Even Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, you should go back and serve your parents. If Mahaprabhu tell us, whole temple will be empty here. But Mahaprabhu gave a specific instruction to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. But Mahaprabhu again told, after the passing away of your parents, you should come back to me. You don't enter into household life. So these are specific instructions. So, so Jadavarat says, these mundane talks are nonsense, and these talks, those who are busy with these type of talks, spiritual advancement is definitely not manifest for them. And also, it says, now Veda Vadeshu hi Tattavadaha. Because sometime in Vedas also these type of mundane activities, apparently, mundane activities are recommended in the Karma Kanda section of the Karmakanda section of the Vedas. So Prabhupada explained in details, from Bhagavad Gita, that Vedavada followers, they generally, most of the time, they are inclined to Karmakanda section of the Vedas. Therefore, they practice different types of yaga, and then so many things, Prabhupada explained. So, in upcoming verses, Jadavarat will give very beautiful, wonderful instructions to King Rahugana. And there are many wonderful lessons we can learn from Jadavarat. It says, Jadavarat's character is like, covered diamond. And he was a diamond. He is actually a diamond. But he was covering his, effulgence. You know, he was not, showing to anyone until this Rahugana started to speak. So devotees are also very grave, and they are kind of covered diamond. You know, and whenever there is need, they can, expose that. If there is no require, they don't speak, unnecessarily. Just like this example of tortoise in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gave tortoise. They, whenever it's required, they can expand. They can take out their organs. When there is no need, they can control. But it's not that easy. Like we spoke Jadavarat. He didn't react when he was being insulted, but now he started to speak. So to become like tortoise, Jadavarat is very difficult. And also Jadavarat, like when he was walking, carrying that palanquin, and he was so compassionate to the ants. Prabhupada says, a devotee, even whenever they are performing their material duties, they don't break the principles of dharma. He was maintaining that, compassion, nature, and mercifulness nature. He was maintaining, Jadavarat. Okay, we'll finish here. Time is almost finished. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna. Any question? Any comment? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Krishna give us free will and causeless mercy both. Free will and causeless
Free will.
free will and causeless mercy also. My question is, step to utilize the free will. I mean, most of the times you not utilize the free will properly. Sometimes attacked by Maya and we are not doing properly utilizing the free will, right? Understood, Prabhuji?
So, what is the question?
Free will. Free will. We are not utilizing the free will properly.
Okay.
Due to Maya or other distractions from
Okay,
outside.
so your question is how to use free will
Yes,
properly?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. And
how we should not use our will freely. That is, free will should not be used freely. So, will, that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada used one word. This is Vevashadmika Buddhir Ekyaha Kurunandana. So, that word, I forgot the English word, is kind of, our will, we should not have a separate will. That will should be aligned with the will of Guru and Krishna. Guru and Krishna. So that free will Krishna gave. So his choice is ours. If we want to use that will to serve Maya, that is our choice. But if you want to control our will, then we have to align our will with the will of Guru and Krishna. That's like there is a story. A story, Arjun and Krishna, they're sitting, both of them sitting, in one garden once. So then suddenly Krishna, pointed towards the sky, and Krishna told Arjun, Arjun, can you see one eagle is coming down, one bird? So Arjun looked toward the sky. Arjun said, yes, yes, my dear Lord Krishna, I can see there is one eagle. And after some time, when the bird came closer, then Krishna says, no, no, it looks like this, what is called this, saras, the white, uh, not swan. Swan is in the crane, crane, correct, crane. So Arjun says, yes, yes, my dear Lord Krishna, it's crane actually. After some time, when the bird came even closer, Krishna says, it looks like crow. It's black. Arjun says, yes, yes, my dear Lord, it's definitely crow. And Krishna got angry. Arjun, what is happening with you? First you say eagle, then you say crane. Now you are saying is a crow. How come in one bird with three colors? Then Arjun says, my dear Lord Krishna, actually, I know it's not three birds, but because you saw, that's why I also saw. So that's why, this will, whatever the Krishna and the Guru and the Vaishnava saying, so we have to utilize our will accordingly. We should not have independent will. There are many, examples in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first time, like this Sanatan Goswami. He went to Jagannath Puri to quit his body under the chariot of this under the wheel of chariot. Then Mahaprabhu called him. Mahaprabhu got to know this. The Mahaprabhu called him and said, Sanatan, I got to know that you are planning to quit your body, commit suicide. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told all the devotees, especially to Haridas Thakur, see, these two brothers, Sanatan and Roop, they says they have taken complete surrender at my lotus feet. And if they have given up everything, they have given everything to me. Their body also belongs to me. So how can he give up this body, which is my property, without my permission? So we should not have any independent will, independent desire, if we are completely surrendered to Krishna and Guru.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol.